The story begins with the lady, Lindy Lewis, who had a rough childhood because her parents didn't pay much attention to her. And now she has a condition called intermittent explosive disorder, which makes her get very angry very easily. Even though she attempted many treatments and served in the military to manage her anger, nothing really worked. Her personal psychiatrist, Dr. Munchin, brought up a plan to help her. He gave her a vest that delivers electric shocks to control her anger and stop her from fighting. Later on, Lindy goes on a date with a boy, Justin, just to try living a normal life. However, she nearly decided to leave at the last minute but chose to stay because Justin seemed like a nice guy. During their conversation, a waiter kept refusing to serve the food Justin asked for, which made Lindy angry, but she stayed calm. However, Lindy overheard a waitress making fun of Justin in the restroom. Lindy tried to use her device to stay in control, but it didn't work. She lost control, confronted the waitress, and physically attacked her before running out of the restaurant without telling Justin. Lindy took the device to Dr. Munchin the next morning and asked him to fix it. While he works on it, he asks about her date. Lindy thinks the date was bad because she hurt someone again. Even though Dr. Munchin repairs the device, he told her that the only way to really solve her problem is to build a strong connection with someone. He encouraged her to try having a relationship. Lindy left without saying anything, but later called Justin to ask if they can meet. They got along well the next time they meet, and she even talks about her passion for photography with him. They go to Lindy's house, and he tries to kiss her. She feels worried, fearing she might hurt him. Justin then sees her vest but isn't worried, and spends the night with her. The next morning, Justin gives Lindy a camera, and she is touched by his kind gift. When he asks about her medical equipment, she hesitantly tells him about her disorder. She asks him to stay longer, but he needs to go back to his job as an accountant. Before he leaves, he then invited her to dinner at his place. Lindy is very happy about the surprise connection and tells Dr. Munchin how she feels. She believes that because she didn't use her gadget last night, this relationship might not need one. She spends the day taking pictures with her new camera. While getting ready for dinner, she received a message from Justin saying he might be late. When she tries to call him, Detective Vickers informs her that Justin has been killed. Lindy hurriedly goes to the police station, where Vickers and Detective 9 tells her that her boyfriend's lifeless body was found in a skip. She feels they aren't paying enough attention to the matter and decided to investigate on her own. She attends Justin's funeral, mourning his death and remembering the brief time they shared together. She meets Dr. Munchin again, this time unable to manage her emotions, and he prescribes sedatives to help her calm down. When she wakes up, she tells him about Justin and her suspicions that his lone customer, Barry, was involved in the murder case. Dr. Munchin tried to persuade her to let the police handle it, but Lindy is adamant about taking matters into her own hands. Despite all his attempts to stop her, Lindy goes ahead with her plan and leaves the clinic after delivering a threat. Despite his fears that she would injure someone, she contacts Detective Vickers and requests that he come to her residence. She slips into the building as he leaves, grabbing Justin's possessions from the evidence room. She gets to know Justin's address out of his wallet and goes to his flat to look for clues. Vickers calls her while she is searching, expressing his displeasure with her behavior. He informs her that his partner wishes to arrest her, but he gives her a second chance, saying that 9 is on her way. Lindy escaped out of the flat and runs into 9 at the door. 9 charges her with murder and plans to take her to the police station. Because Vickers is still on the phone, Lindy shares the phone with 9 and runs. After beating her, she snatches Justin's McLaren and speeds away from the parking lot. Lindy is able to escape after 9 and Vickers are involved in an accident. She goes to a cell phone store the next morning and begs the manager to connect her with a hacker. Lindy requests that the hacker break into Justin's phone, and the manager connected her with Andy. He wonders if her lover was a drug dealer while conducting a check, because he had erased all information from the phone. Lindy explains that he was only an accountant. Meanwhile, the last 6 calls Justin received were all from a notorious arms dealer, Barry Cicery, whom Lindy believes was Justin's sole client, although he hadn't revealed his occupation. Lindy thanks Andy and leaves her with the car key, determined to pursue Barry. When she gets to Barry's place, she realizes that he organizes paid fights. She confronts him about Justin's murder, but he refuses to share any information with her. Barry dares Lindy to fight his 3 best men in exchange for the knowledge she wants, and she agrees. After defeating all 3 of them, Barry discloses the information and takes her with him. Barry's men tried to assassinate her in the car, but Lindy fights back. and manages to surprise them, eventually forcing Barry to tell her what she wants to know. Barry reveals that Justin was murdered by his boss, who is Gareth Fell. He further says that locating Fell would be extremely difficult, because he is a powerful man, and even the government is not willing to go after him. Meanwhile, Detective Nine visits Vickers in the hospital and warns him of Lindy's history of violence and assault due to her anger issues. Lindy appears after Nine has left the room and praises Vickers for his earlier warning. She also informs him that she has located the murderer and requests that he arrest Fell, but Vickers says that they cannot act without evidence. When Vickers asks Lindy why she is so desperate to discover Justin's killer despite having met him only a few times, she explains that he was the only really nice person she had come across recently. Moved by her concern, Vickers gives her Fell's address but tells her not to go alone. Nine arrives and attempts to arrest Lindy while they discuss the situation, but Lindy manages to flee once more. She arrives at Fell's office building, where Delroy, the security officer, offers to accompany her to his office but then knocks her down in the lift. He questions her about the purpose of her hunt for Fell, so she assures him that she is seeking Justin's killer. Delroy, on the other hand, attempts to spare her but takes her vest and forces her out of the building. Lindy constantly misses her vest in the car and urges the driver to stop, but when the driver refuses, she strikes him, resulting in an accident. She escapes from the car and flees the scene. She sees Dr. Munchin again and demands that he develop another device, and she returns to her flat later, only to find that someone has broken in. She enters through the window and discovers that Fell's men have planted a booby trap designed to kill her in an explosion. She takes the device with her after disarming it and plants another bomb in the flat to stage her death. As she walks out of the building, she runs into Vickers, who wants to arrest her for her own safety, but is distracted as her flat explodes, allowing her to vanish once more. Vickers calls her and attempts to talk her out of going after Fell, advising her to let the authorities handle it. Lindy, however, feels they will not arrest him and dismisses his concerns. Proceeding with her plan, she reaches Fell's office building but is caught again by Delroy. Delroy now takes her to Fell, who admits to killing Justin and many other innocent people. Lindy tries to control her anger, but Delroy knocks her out with a blow to the head. When she wakes up, she's tied to a chair. Lindy manages to escape and fights Delroy, forcing him to reveal where Fell's secret office is. She encounters more guards, and a fight ensues. After beating and defeating the guards, she gets to the office only to find Fell already dead. Then Justin walks in, even though she saw him buried. Justin explains that he's a CIA agent who used her to get to Fell because they didn't want to be directly involved. He reveals that Dr. Munchin recommended her because he works for them, and his research is funded by them. Justin tries to torture her with an electric shock, but it doesn't affect her anymore, because she has become resistant to it. Lindy fights back by throwing her bag at him, and then runs away from the building. Justin, confused by her actions, is caught in a bomb explosion that kills him. Lindy runs away from the building and talks to Dr. Munchin. She tells him she thinks he's been using her for his own benefit. He says sorry and explains he didn't know about Justin's idea. Vickers and Nine find Lindy and Dr. Munchin arguing. At first, they worry Lindy might hurt him, so they shoot her in the leg to stop her. But then they realize she's trying to handcuff him to give him to the police. Vickers admires her determination. After transporting her to the hospital, both of them assist her in covering her tracks. They return her device, which they had confiscated. In the ambulance, Vickers asks Lindy out, and she agrees to think about it. Lindy returns to her old flat to collect her stuff after healing from her injuries and being discharged from the hospital. In the ending scene, she is visited by a strange woman who later reveals herself to be Justin Sr. Lindy has been under surveillance for years, according to the woman, and they want to use her rage to bring down bad people. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.